Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters. Today I will introduce to you someone who the world will be waiting for centuries for an alike to be born. Walking on the face of this planet with humility, passion, and vision. Alhamdulillah, our generation is extremely fortunate and lucky to be living at the same time as him and getting an opportunity to talk to him. He was awarded the 2006 Nobel Prize, and President Barack Obama once awarded him with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. He is one of only 7 people to have won the Nobel Peace Prize, Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the Congressional Gold Medal. And most recently, he is the recipient of the Top Sports Award, the 2nd ever Olympic laurel. He is none other than our honorable and respected Professor Muhammad Yunus. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum. How are you, Maryam?
Wa alaikum assalam. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good. How are you, Dr. Muhammad Yunus?
Good. I'm okay. Thank you. Delighted to see you.
Yes, it's really my honor. I'm so happy, and I can't even believe it. I'm like a high school student, simple high school student here in Turkey.
I can't believe it either. Such a famous person like you talking to me.
and you've been interviewed by Jon Stewart on the Daily Show and
wow.
Oprah Winfrey, and I'm just here as a simple high schooler interviewing you. Thank you so much for giving me your valuable time, and it's really my honor.
Thank you.
I know that you have been awarded so many amazing prizes and awards, and I just wanted to ask you, out of all these awards, which one did you feel most touched by?
Well, everything is important. It's nothing is insignificant when somebody is recognizing you for the work that you do. It's not easy because the more you feel that somebody is recognizing you, at the same time somebody is hating you. It goes together. It's not one-way things. So recognition of any size, any kind, is always very satisfying. That yes, they are on the same page. That's why they are recognizing me. So I wouldn't say that one is a bigger prize and one than a smaller prize, but along the way you go along and see how the people are recognizing you. Of course, there are well-known prizes. The world globally is recognized and everybody celebrates those things. Like Nobel Prize is one of them. Everybody knows the Nobel Prize. But there are many prizes people don't even know that exist. But even then, somebody is recognizing you with a group of people behind it. So it's always good. It's always kind of give you a boost in the work that you do and feel confident. That you're not alone. Your thoughts and your work is appreciated, and that gives you a boost. That doesn't mean that if you don't get the award, you're not doing it. You'll do it anyway. But it's always helpful to somebody to help say you, okay, go right ahead.
Thank you so much. And it really amazes me when I think about how many different prizes that you have been awarded, and you have so many admirers around the world, and definitely I am one of them.
Okay, thank you. That also helps to know.
So you have dedicated your entire life for the betterment of people, especially to help the poorest of the poor. And it spans from finance to sports to social fictions and almost every aspect of life. So which of your legacies are you especially leaving behind for us, the youth?
Well, I don't know. You said I've done lots of things. Yes, as it came, I reacted to it in my own way. Whatever I saw is not right. I reacted and I tried to see in my way I can make it right. Even in a small way, I can make it right. So along the way, you do lots of things. I don't think I ever thought about what could be legacy. So that's not something that occurred in my mind at all. That people will figure out. It's the next generation or whoever, they will figure out what is the juice coming out of the entire thing that you do. So that's something else. But I would say for me, the driving force, if I can look back, the driving force which pushed me into the things that I do would be something like a kind of limitless faith in humanity, in human beings, this amazing creation, that the wonderful things that they can do. So I always have a limitless faith in human beings, that its capacity to do good things and not being utilized, those capacities. So I try to see if I can be, in a way, try to make my efforts to unfold those capacities and so on and so forth. So that's one, the unlimited capacity. And many times I say that in one simple way. I said, nothing is impossible for human beings. It's all the question of making up the mind. If a human being makes up a mind, it gets happened. So it is that easy. It's that simple. So this, I see that human mind can expand itself to grasp things and to do things which looks impossible, become possible. And that's the history of human being. Anything impossible, they make it possible. And whatever is impossible now, it's our turn to make it possible. So that's, I think, is a overriding idea or spirit that I had in me, that I don't see anything is impossible.
Thank you so much. And I definitely agree. Nothing is impossible. And this mindset itself about limitless faith in human beings is extremely inspiring for everybody else. When we hear that phrase, we are inspired to try and try again.
That's it.
So the last 8 decades of the world have seen so many contributions from you. And at the same time, technology has evolved like never before. So I'm just imagining your youth when you were like around my age, like 15 years old. What do you think you would...
I wish I could go back to the age.
Yeah. So
that would be wonderful, yeah.
What do you think you would have done differently if you were born in our time?
Oh my God. Your time is unreachable for me. That's something, it's a wishful thinking. But I was thinking, when you mentioned 15-year-old, you are 15-year-old. I had an amazing life as a 15-year-old. I will never forget that. That transformed me when I was 15-year-old. I had the opportunity to travel the whole world. Just accidentally it happened. I was picked up as a Boy Scout to join a Boy Scout Jamboree, to participate in that Jamboree, 8th World Jamboree, held in Canada, in Niagara-on-the-Lake. So I was one of the 27 Boy Scouts from Pakistan. At that time, it was Pakistan, 1955. I was 15-year-old. So that was an exciting thing, to go to another country, meet with the young people like me from all over the world as Boy Scouts. And I did. And that's the first time I had a chance to travel the whole world. I crossed the Atlantic by ocean, by ship, which even if you try, probably you will not do it now. You just fly over. It took us 15 days of fun crossing the Atlantic from one end to the other end to come to New York, and then to travel to Canada and see the whole world in front of you and so on. And on the way back, we crossed the Atlantic again. That's also a fun thing to do. The entire thing was a lot of fun. Then we went to England and Germany, bought 3 microbuses from the Volkswagen microbus companies. At that time, it just opened after the Second World War. And we drove these microbuses all over Europe to go back to Pakistan overland. It took us 6 months to do that. We are not in a hurry. We are just enjoying ourselves. We look at the map, which city next time we go, and we go there, and we had fun. We had terrible time. We had accidents, all kinds of things. So 6 months of packed experiences on that, and coming back as a completely new young person, with having a view of the whole world. So 15-year-old, and I took the diary of it. Every day I wrote my diary, my notes, that whatever I was doing, no matter how terrible the situation is, I always take notes. So today those notes are put into a book, Diary of a Young Person. So that's something reminds me of all those old days. So 15-year-old can be very powerful, very, very powerful. So I crossed ocean, I crossed the Alps and the deserts of the Middle East and so on. Went hungry for days because there's no food available to us. And then have treated like prince in countries where they are treating us from the government and so on. So we had all kinds of experience up and down. So you remind me of a 15-year-old.
That sounds like very, very cool. And it sounds like you really like traveling. So that's actually one of my hobbies.
I do that. And I don't want to change anything. You said what I would do. I don't even want to think. Yeah. I had so much fun. I would rather repeat the whole thing that I did.
Yeah, so I really like traveling as well. That's like one of my hobbies, and I love going to different places and learning new cultures and everything. And I just wanted to personally also invite you to our home, inshallah. If you ever come to the USA, then it would be really amazing.
Where are you? Where are you based?
In New Jersey.
In New Jersey. Okay, that's a favorite place for me too.
And my mother actually makes really delicious food, and I think you would really love it.
Oh, wow.
Her Bangladeshi food is amazing.
Oh my God. How can somebody get away not accepting that? So definitely I'll do that. And it's wonderful to go back to New Jersey. Trenton is my favorite place. I went there many times. Many other cities like Germantown, Newark, New Jersey, Princeton, many other little towns that I visited there because my friends were there and so on. Gone there many, many times. So it's a very familiar place. Good to be back in New Jersey sometimes. And thank your mom. I'll definitely take that chance.
Okay, inshallah. All right. So I know you're a visionary leader and you love imagination and fiction. So my great-grandmother, Romina Afaz, was an adventure thriller writer. And alhamdulillah, her kindness and imagination was something like folk tales in Bangladesh. I never really got the opportunity to meet her. I wish I could, but I definitely want to meet you one day, inshallah. So did you ever get an opportunity to meet my great-grandmother, Romina Afaz?
I guess not. Probably we never crossed path or something. But you say about the grandmother, you're lucky. You're lucky to have a grandmother who inspired you. You still remember fondly about her, although you have never met her. Not everybody is lucky like that, particularly young generation of this age may not have met their grandmother. Even if they did, they are not sure whether they are inspired by them or they are angered by their grandmothers or grandparents and so on. Because there's a lot of anger in the young people right now. That's what we see, because they are blaming their older generation, their parents, their grandparents and great-grandparents, because they screw up the whole world. They created a world which is destroying the life of the young people. So it's not easy for some grandmother to be respected and inspired by their life and so on. Because all the bad things that we have done to the world, was the indifference or completely bypassing all the major issues of the world and enjoyed themselves and created something terrible, which made the whole human beings on this at this time as a kind of most endangered species on the world right now. We don't have much time left. So young people like you are marching on the street. I'm sure you're familiar with that, telling that their parents that you have stolen our future, that you have destroyed the future for us. We don't have a future left. And my children will never have any future at all because you have destroyed the world completely. So having a grandmother who still commands respect is a very, very lucky situation. I wish when you are a grandmother, your grandchildren will not look at you with the complaining eyes or hating you for doing the bad things to the planet and making their life miserable. That's what the most important thing right now. How would our grandchildren of a 15-year-old would look at you as a grandmother, as a grandfather? Is it something that you did? They will be very grateful to you that they did it. The world was almost at the end of its existence, and you saved it because you came boldly and took your stand and made sure that all the old things cannot continue. And that's one use I make by saying that no going back. We don't want to go back to the old ways of doing things. We want to build new roads to go to new destination, new way of doing things. So that's the chance, just a chance for you to make sure that when your children, your grandchildren look at you, they will be grateful to you because you took a stand.
Yes, thank you so much. All right. I'm very, very fascinated by your 3-0 idea, and it could really transform the world into a place where the only glimpse of it can be seen in Jannah. And while the concept is very simple, the perception is not that simple. So can you please explain your 3-0 idea in simpler terms so all of our viewers can understand it easily?
Yeah, this is what I was referring to when I was talking about the grandmother and grandchildren. We are destroying the planet. We are in a suicidal path. We created so many things which is threatening the very existence of the planet. And that's what we read in the newspaper. That's what we hear about debates going on and all the things about the global warming. Number one, global warming proceeding faster and faster. Still, we're not taking it seriously. And now the IPCC report, that the group who is responsible for monitoring the global warming, they have very clear message. We have only 20 years left before the planet temperature reaches 1.5 degrees Celsius, which means after that, it will be impossible for human beings to exist on this planet. So it's a 20 years kind of time in the scope of things in the global measurement. 20 years is nothing. It's like a split second. It will disappear just like that. So we are very close to it, that our planet will be endangered, and all the living being on this planet will be extinct very soon, in particularly human beings. So that's a very short notice for us. We are not still doing something. And I try to explain it by saying, look, our house is burning. Our planet is our house and it's burning. But inside that house, we are having big parties, enjoying ourselves, having fun, ignoring the fact that the very house that we are inside is burning into ashes, and we will be soon extinct by the fire that it has. So our first responsibility is to get out and stop the fire. That we are not doing, that the urgency of it's not being created. So that's why we talk about the young people, how to make that happen. And global warming is one part of many other terrible things we are doing to this planet. Number one is global warming. Number two is extreme wealth concentration. If you look around, all the wealth of the world, including the United States, all the wealth of the United States is in the hand of very handful of people, not to everybody else. Globally the same. All the global wealth is in the hands of few people. To give you more, make it more specific, 99% of the wealth of the entire world, 99%, almost all of it, of the wealth of the world is in the hand of 1% of the population. So 1% owning 99%. How ugly can you get? So 99% of the population have to share 1% of the wealth. That's a terrible thing. And not only it happens that way, it's a continuous process. It's not something happened, okay, you got 99%, I got 1%. It's not like that. 99% wealth is increasing in the hands of fewer and fewer people. 1% that is shared by 99% people is becoming smaller than 1%. So that is very explosive situation. And I keep reminding that it's a ticking time bomb. It will explode anytime. But we are enjoying ourselves. We don't, no matter, okay, I have a job, I got my salary, I can pay my rent, I can pay my bills. That's it. That's not what human beings are all about. Human beings is very different than just paying the bills. But we don't have to accept that. We have to make sure, and all the wealth we create goes to the people who are behind creation of this wealth, rather than just take them from the people who created it and enjoy by some few people in the world. So this is another explosive situation. Third one, is an artificial intelligence, which is coming in a big way, and that will replace human being in everything, because they will do better than human beings. You're familiar with that. And then at one time, everything will be done by artificial intelligence. You can kind of project that kind of situation. So what happens to human being? In my way of saying, I would say that the human being will become garbage on this planet. They have no use. When you have no use, you throw it away. So the nature will throw us away because we have no use on this planet, and we'll be extinct for that reason. So these are the three things which is happening. So we said we are not going to accept that. We want to create a different kind of world, to undo everything that has been done by our predecessors, our parents, our grandparents, great-grandparents. We want to make sure we reverse the whole process. Instead of following that, we reverse it. So we keep saying, if you follow the old path, if you follow the old road, you go to the old destination. And our old destination is death and extinction. We don't want to follow that. So we want to reverse that path. We want to build new roads to go to new destination. What will be the new destination? That's where the 3 zeros come. We said we will create a world of 3 zeros. What are those 3 zeros? Zero number 1, zero net carbon emission. We can build a world of zero net carbon emission or zero global warming. That's the first goal, the zero. Unless we do that, that's stopping the fire in our house. That's our number 1 responsibility, to safeguard the house that we live in. So this is and we pay attention to it. It can be done very easily. It's not something terrible, something we have to make so many sacrifices, or is it technologically impossible? It's nothing like that. Simply making a decision that we want to do. That's what I said. Nothing is impossible for a human being. All it needs to make a decision. So number 1, zero net carbon emission. Number 2, zero wealth concentration. Wealth will not be concentrated in few hands. Wealth will be shared by everybody else. Wealth and people live together, not separate out from each other. So that's the direction that we want to go. And then number 3, zero unemployment. Technology, artificial intelligence is bringing massive unemployment because human beings are no longer needed. We said, no, we want to make zero unemployment. We unleash the energy of entrepreneurship. All human beings are entrepreneurs. We are not job seekers, we are job creators. But economics, people who teach us, they teach us in a wrong way. We are built into job seekers. So all we do, we want to get a job. And that's not what we want to do. We want to be an entrepreneur because we are born as entrepreneurs. So these are the 3 zeros. Zero net carbon emission, zero wealth concentration, zero unemployment. So, and in order to do that, we are inviting young people like you from 12-year-old to 35-year-old. That's the young people, to form 3 zero clubs. So that, and it needs only 5 young people. If 5 young people get together, they form a club of 3 zero club and follow that idea, how to create that 3 zero club, 3 zero world. So from 3 zero club, you go to the 3 zero world. So how do you do that? You network with each other. You have a club, somebody else has a club here, somebody has another club there. So with the technological help, you can connect with each other. You can have massive connectivity and say, this is what we're going to do. All it needs a tiny little step. All those tiny little steps from the tiny little clubs can change the whole world. That's the whole idea.
Thank you so much. I really agree with everything, that the tiny steps will lead to a bigger change. And
absolutely.
It is really, I'm really humbled and honored to be taking a part in the 3 Zero Leadership Challenge.
Please. You can inspire all the young people. That's what you're good at.
All right. So now I just want to finish off with one last question. So do you have any questions for our viewers right now, or any message that you would like to convey to them?
Well, I don't dare ask any question to you. You should be asking questions. I am the guilty party here because I didn't do the right thing and caused all the problem for you, your generation. So I'm apologetic. So I don't dare to ask questions. All I want to say that it can be done. And we failed in our responsibility as the generation that I'm from. And now leave it to you and support you every way. And at the same time, I remind you, don't listen to our generation, your grandparents' generation, your parents' generation. They give you all the wrong things. So the more you listen to them, the more you go into the wrong direction. So make sure you make up your own mind what you want, what kind of world you want, what kind of relationship you want with each other, what kind of life you want to lead. You have to make those decisions, because older ideas, older way of doing things, they caused us so much trouble that now we are fighting for our existence. Like simple thing like fossil fuel. One fossil fuel alone can drastically change the situation of the global warming. It's so important. But our older generation, so much fun enjoying their fossil fuel and everything and so on. They don't care about it. So particularly in the United States, they even give subsidy, government subsidy, people's money to flourish, to expand the fossil fuel industry and so on, and build pipelines to go to one country to another country, all the crude oil and so on and so forth. So that world has to be abandoned. We have to build a new world. So that's the kind of thing that needs to be done. And we hope your generation will be able to do it and save this planet.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all your wonderful advice, very inspiring words. And, inshallah, we will all try our best to be leaders in today's world, in today's generation, to make a change in the world. And thank you again so much for all your valuable time. It's really an honor for me to be able to talk to you.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.